This lecture may be injurious to your sentiments. It may incur rational sense in you. Watch at your own discretion. Your sentiments are not my liability. Hello, this is Hrisikesh, and you are welcome to my channel, Hrisikesh Lectures. Education is quintessential for any civilization to sustain its civil sense. Observing the calamitous condition of the education system and realizing the urgency to spread education as far as one can, I have started to lecture on YouTube. As far as authenticity is concerned, I have a first-class master's degree in English literature and I am UGC NET qualified. My lectures are long and detailed as a real classroom lecture should be. Also, most of my lectures are available on YouTube Music as podcasts. And if you like the way I try to educate, consider liking, sharing and subscribing to the channel so that the algorithm gets it to more and more students of literature. With all this being said, let's begin today's lecture. Hello. The story that I am going to discuss today is Protiva Basu's The Marooned. It is translated as The Marooned, but in Bangla, original Bangla, the title is Dukul Hara. Now about the author, Protiva Basu was a singer and a prolific writer in Bangla literature. She was the wife of Buddhadev Basu. Her original name was Ranu Shom. She was born in 1915 and she died in 2006. Among her stories, this is one that belongs to Partition Literature. The Marooned means someone who is deserted, supposedly in an island where he or she cannot go anywhere. He or she cannot be rescued from that situation. Stuck in an island. That is the word the marooned means. So in Bangla it is Dukul Hara. That means who has lost all shores. And in the sea there is no sight, there is no shore, and she has no way out of her predicament. So that is the meaning of being Dukul Hara or being the Marooned. Now, Protiva Basu's story presents a character, Bindubashini, that is the protagonist of this story. Bindubashini was in East Pakistan when India got the supposed independence. And because of partition and because of riots, we know that people were migrating from both sides to both sides, from east to west and from west to east. Now, Protiva, being a Hindu in East Pakistan, she was there and she never felt up until this moment. The story begins that at last Bindubashini felt really nervous. That means she was not nervous up until now. She was waiting to see the circumstances, how it goes. And after a certain point, she feels that it is not going to be safe anymore. She is feeling nervous. So finally, it seemed they would not be able to live there any longer. That is what she is now feeling, that this place is not going to be safe anymore. But up until this point, she stayed at her house, at her place, without worrying that the people around her, whom she knew very, for a long time. Those neighbors and, neighborhood won't be against her. But since everyone was moving, everyone of the, everyone who were Hindu were moving out of East Pakistan, she somehow felt that it was not safe anymore. Now, she is, she was told that after a certain time, after a certain point, this migration thing won't work. If she doesn't migrate now, after a certain point, the borders will be closed and she won't be able to move on to India. So that is another fear, that fear of, deadline, that there may be the borders may be closed anytime and I won't be able to land in the safest place that everyone is going to. So and she is also hearing that once the borders are closed, then because I am a minority here, and it is being heard that there will be another Jallianwala Bagh kind of thing, and everyone will be massacred. That kind of fear is, seeping into her mind, and she feels nervous. So the description that is given here is clear that she has land enough and a big house and everything, good property is there, because her husband was a landlord or a rich man. So she has property for now, and there is a description of what is there, what are the items, like big rooms, the the chest, iron chest, and there some amount of gold, three Benarushi sharis, two sets of silver service, that means plates and everything, silver made. So some copper and brass sets, those, I mean, like dining sets and everything. Okay, so copper made, brass made, and silver made things. And there was a big, bed made of wood, with delicate, delicate designs crafted on it. So that was the home. That was the concept of home to her. And now she's feeling that I have to go. Now, the thing is that those, five big halls, eight huge beds, lion-shaped legs of the beds, and sitting room adorned with two throne-like chairs and carpets. So affluent. She was belonging to an affluent family. But the thing is that her husband died, and her son also died after that. Within a year, the father and son died. And her son was married to a woman called Uttura. And they had children, two daughters, Milu and Bulu. So now the living beings in that house is, of course, Bindu Bashini, her daughter-in-law Uttura, and then Milu and Bulu. Okay, granddaughters. Four women, no men in that house. of that family. How does she earn her living, or how does she manage to earn to run that household? She has tenants. Those tenants are Muslims, but they have always respected Binduvashini. There was never any cause to to be suspicious about them trying to rob Binduvashini or kill Binduvashini. There was no suspicion whatsoever. But Binduvashini, hearing all that is going on around, Binduvashini is feeling nervous that I should move away from this place, because the borders, once and if the borders are closed, then I won't be able to move to the safest place, and then there will be a massacre and we all will be killed. That kind of fear is there. So Bindubashini calls one of her tenants who is a bit aged and who respects her and who is able-bodied, strong man. So that is Jamir Mia. And Jamir Mia, when he is called by Bindubashini asks that, Jamir, my son, I don't feel secure anymore. Everyone has left. What do you suggest I should do? So she asks Jamir Mia as if she is asking a son that, what can I do? Can you suggest me anything? Should I move or should I not? Now Jamir is a bit hesitant about answering on the spot. Jamir is, standing there silently and then saying that, let other tenants come, let us discuss, and we'll all, discuss it with you, etc. Bindubashini is more nervous. Why Jamir is not assuring her that don't go? We have always told you that you should not go. We respect you and we have no problems within ourselves, so you can be safe here. Why is Jamir not telling her so confidently? Why is Jamir being hesitant? So Bindubashini is a bit more nervous, and she asks Jamir directly that, why are you not so confident about it? Then Jamir says that, Jamir actually explains that what is happening around is brutal. And Jamir says that nobody is human anymore. Our community, Muslim community, or your community, Hindu community, nobody is human anymore. Everybody is, fighting with, the other community and being brutal. They have lost all sense of humanity. How can I say to you that you should live here and you will be safe? Nobody can guarantee nobody. I mean, the total situation is thus that Jamir explains the problem is a lot of senior leaders from outside have come to our country. They are provoking us to kill and plunder. Not only that, but I feel so ashamed to utter such things. They tell us, get hold of Hindu women, young or old, and marry them. Now, Jamir is not supporting those ideas, but Jamir is saying that outsiders have come here and they are provoking. Now, let me tell you about human tendencies. If there is a mango grove and you do not break into it, you do not snatch the fruit, because you have a sense of conscience, or you have a kind of fear that if I am doing this is an immoral thing, and if somebody catches me, I will be punished or insulted at least for what I am trying to do. That is the fear. Now, if you don't have a conscience, strong conscience, and if the law and order situation is gone away, and the leaders or provocators of powerful leaders and religious speeches or such hitmongers, if they try to say, if law and order makes it clear that I am not there, I am not looking at it, whatever you do, first of all, and then if someone provokes you that you should go to that mango grove and snatch all the fruits and eat and make it a ruin, then after some point, after some time, you will be provoked. That is in human nature. Humans think that if there is a mango grove without any supervision, if law and order is absent, and if somebody is telling me that I can make that a ruin, I can snatch everything out of there, then if I don't do, I will look foolish. And that's why they just get provoked so easily. Of course, the hitmongers, they instigate by doing some brutal acts, so that you get another point, another motive, that is the motive of revenge. First, the fire is burnt, the fire is lighted, and then once the fire of hate is there, you think that I should avenge for what I have lost, and that kind of thing goes on and on and on. So there are multiple things: provocation, our greed, our lack of moral sense, our lack of conscience, lack of law and order, and everything. So if a situation is like that, almost nobody remains human. So that is the point Jamir is making here, that how can I say that you will be safe here? I would rather suggest you that there is still time, everyone is going, be in that crowd and move as fast as you can so that you can be in the safe land, because we cannot guarantee you anything here. This place is in ruins. Everybody is insane now. So Jamir is not doing anything unfavorable to Bindubashini. Jamir is being realistic and saying that the situation is out of control. I respect you, but the people around, they are not human anymore. So you should, because you are 4 women, and especially daughter-in-law Uttara, she is 31 years old, and the 2 young kids, Milu and Bulu. Milu is a teenager. So in such cases, in such brutal situations, they are not safe. Jamir also suggests that I have heard that if you carry too much, they will snatch everything away. The in the name of security, in the name of the constables will take, and people will steal from you or even rob you. There are various situations. So, and the things will also slow you down. So I would suggest carry as little as you can, as portable things, and wear the things mostly, if you can wear them, so that you don't have to carry them in the hands, because they are going to search everything and they are going to take away anything valuable. So they wear all the ornaments and everything, and they hide it, try to hide it at least, and then they carry as much as they can in their hands, and they start their journey. There is the description how the journey was, how people were migrating from one place to another, how the government was not in any way sympathetic towards them. the government officials, and they were moving like cattle. They had no resting place, they had no food, they had nothing of their own, and even people were stealing things from other people, all migrants. But that was the dire situation they were in. So they come to Bongaon first, and after that they will reach Calcutta. But there is a long description, how they rested, where they rested. There was no food, and until they crossed the border, there was no food. They had to manage on their own. And after they came to Bongaon, yes, there were some kind of refugee relief kind of thing, but they were giving men a bit of a piece of jaggery, and they were giving children 2 ounces of milk, which was mixed with water. So that was the situation. Now that mixed with water milk is either a proof of our economic condition, our government's economic condition, our state's economic condition, or, which is most important, they were a sign of corruption. Government or the authorities are issuing a certain amount of milk to be provided to to be provided to the refugees, and in the process of coming down, that element coming down to the refugees, that is being lost and mixed with water. And so that is corruption. Corruption is everywhere, we know. So that is a sign of corruption. People are corrupt, leaders are corrupt, officials are corrupt, because leaders are provoking people. People themselves, they have no morality, they are killing away each other, and then they are moving on like cattle, and they are stealing each other's property. Afterwards, when they reach in the refugee camp, they are given a small piece of jaggery for adult people, and 2 ounces of milk for kids like Milu and Bulu. So that is corruption. Corrupt people all around, and nobody is sympathetic about other people's conditions. They have created the dire situation for themselves, and now they are struggling with that, and they are not even compassionate about the situation of everybody. Nobody is thinking about anybody else. Everybody is thinking about his or her own profit or gain or survival. Now, here we get another point that the author writes, that they have lost almost all of the gold, or rather all the gold, in the way. How? Because in many places they had to give the gold to. We have to understand. It is like a clue here. They had to give away the gold to save their honor in many cases. So they were, quite harassed and searched, and their properties were taken away. Now they have almost nothing. And there is the little kid Bulu suffering with fever, and in one night, it is written that when they were sleeping on a field, actually many refugees, they were sleeping on a field, and there was no tent or nothing. They were completely on open air, and they were just sleeping. They were moving on from one place to another, and that was their shelter for that night. And in that place, Bulu in the night when everyone was sleeping, Uttara felt that some hand was taking away Bulu from her in the sleep, and Uttara had to pull Bulu out of that hand. That is again symbolic, subtle, but the condition is real, that nobody cares about others. Everybody, it doesn't matter whether it's a kid, whether it's an old woman, they are trying to snatch away even women like property, like, objects. After a certain point, after a certain point, they were they were surviving with those jaggery cereal, 2 ounces of watery milk, etc. But there was a plump sadhu who came to the camp, and he was very calm. He was listening to everyone, and that was very soothing. Now, some people have managed to go to some place or get some kind of work and they have left. But not all the people in the refugee camp. Most of them are still there. Bindubashini's family, along with Bindubashini, is still there. Now, Uttara had an uncle in Calcutta. Uttara wanted to write to that uncle, but Bindubashini told her not to, because her uncle had never replied whenever she wrote to her, wrote to him. Because it is explained by Bindubashini, because he doesn't want a refugee family to support a refugee family. That was even within families, people were refusing to help people. A refugee family, distant relation, who cares? To feed 5 people or 4 people, who will take the burden? So don't reply to them. That is another condition created by relatives, that is humans not supporting other humans, even when they are relatives, when they have blood relations. So that is another situation. Then this plump sadhu has come, and he is listening to everybody's stories and being soothing to everybody. Bindubashini thinks that this sadhu, wearing a saffron and serene eyes and expression is so calm and sadhu like expression. Okay, so Bindubashini takes him to a side and tells him her story, that she had property, she lost everything, and now she has a daughter-in-law, 2 granddaughters, and she is helpless completely. She has to find something, some place to live, some work to do, so that she can earn her living, and she has to stand upright. She asks the help of that sadhu. That sadhu's name is Keshavananda. Now Keshavananda sends a jeep the next day, and the 4 people, Bindubashini, Uttara, Milu and Bulu, they are taken into that jeep, and they are taken to the sadhu's ashram. Okay. Now ashram is a very good place. They are living there calmly. They have got some trust, about the sadhu, that he is helping them, and the sadhu is behaving very like he is like a father figure to them. Bindubashini is always trusting the sadhu, and the sadhu comes with an offer. Too soon. He just comes with an offer too soon, but they take it. Actually, he comes with an offer that There is a man, rich man, with two children, two daughters, and the rich man wants a governess. Now, Uttara, if she can do that job, then she is going to be paid a good amount, and soon you will be, able to stand up on your own feet. You will be able to, gather your own things and live in a good place, and with life you can move on. You can forget about the past and you can move on towards future. So Bindubashini first, she says that my daughter-in-law will work like a maid. She is my daughter-in-law. She is, the daughter-in-law of that family, my family, rich, wealthy, affluent, landlord family, whatever. And she is going. Keshavananda explains that no, this is not like a maid. Now, this point is very clear that Bindubashini is focusing on the social position of a maid. She is not focusing on the earning. She is focusing on the position of a maid. That I belong to such a family that my daughter-in-law cannot be. That kind of mentality is there. That kind of upper class of work and lower class of work, that kind of mentality is still there. That is one point to note. Uttara is pointing at it and saying that this is not that kind of a job. I am not losing my honor. I am not doing something dishonest. I am going to take care of two kids, and rich men pay for that. I have to teach them. I have to take care of them. I have to be a governess. So what is shameful in that? If the situation is like this, so I have no complaint working as a governess. Keshavananda takes her to that rich person. Now the narrative discloses to us that actually that rich person is a black marketeer, and she requires women every night. His name is Rajiv Lochon Sarkar, and Keshavananda is actually employed by that person to get new women, abduct them, catch them in any way, and supply those women to that man. So naturally, if a woman once abducted goes in that path, it is not her choice. She is trapped. But we know where that trap lands her in. She is going to be used by that man, and then she was to be sold or sold away, or has to work like a prostitute, whatever. Her life was, sold away into slavery, sexual slavery. Anyway, these people, they don't know. Bindubashini and her two granddaughters, they are living there in Keshavananda's ashram. Sadhu Keshavananda wearing saffron and gaining trust of all the people with his smiles and everything, soothing and serene eyes, all those things. So Keshavananda calls another man, and that man Keshavananda makes another deal, that you were looking for a young girl for some purpose, for some film or jatra, whatever, I don't care, but if you agree to my conditions, then I can show you a girl. Conditions are not made clear here. The author doesn't make clear, doesn't write the conditions clearly, but we have to understand whatever the conditions were. Of course, we have already got the taste of the character Keshavananda. We know that he is going to sell another woman, young woman, means Milu. Milu is shown, and after 2 days, Keshavananda tells that Milu, you are going to see your mother. Okay, Milu and Bulu, they were willing to see their mother. So he takes Milu, carries her on the jeep, and then takes her to that man, and then she goes to Milu is taken to that man, and I'm forgetting the name of Shoshi Shekhar. Okay, and they are Samaj Shebis. I mean, they are social workers. They are known as social workers. Their film or something is named Jatra. I don't know, Jatra or film is named like Bastuharar Bedona, and their committee or something is known as Abola Bandhav Samiti. Abola Bandhav in Bangla means saviors of the distressed, or Abola means who has nothing, Bandhav means friend of the distressed or something like that. Abola Bandhav Samiti means you may say Sangho or committee, or a group of social workers. So Bastuharar Bedona, that is the name of their Jatra or film Bastuharar Bedona. If translated, that means agony of the homeless. Bastuhara means homeless, Bedona means agony. So Bastuharar Bedona means agony of the homeless. They are doing great work, apparently, but that is underneath. So Milu is taken to Shoshi Shekhar, that person, and there is a scene how Shoshi Shekhar is torturing Milu, and Milu's she is gone. Keshavananda comes back, and now Keshavananda is, while coming back, he is thinking that now I have to get rid of that old woman. She is of no use now. I have sold the two women that were to be sold or that could have been sold, and now I have to take care of that old woman so that I can get the room clear for new abducted people. Okay, so I have to get the room vacant now. So what he does is he comes back and tells Binduvashini that your daughter-in-law and your granddaughter, they are going to have lunch there in that rich man's house, and that rich man has told me that why the old woman is there alone, go and take her, fetch her, and take her to, so that they can have the lunch together, the grandmother, then Uttara, then the granddaughter Milu. Binduvashini is told that she is going to meet them there, and that's why Keshavananda has come hurriedly and calling her that where are you, they want you there, etc. And Milu is so jubilant, Uttara is so happy with her work, I am so happy, etc. So Binduvashini is excited. Binduvashini also taken onto the jeep, but this time the Keshavananda tells Binduvashini to sit in the front. Binduvashini is on the jeep, and the jeep is moving. Now, when Milu was on the jeep, Milu looked around Calcutta. She had never seen a city such big and with so many people all around, all those big buildings, etc. She was young and she was excited, so her eyes were open. In case of Binduvashini falls asleep because she is exhausted taking care of those kids and she is an old woman. She sees around for some time but then she falls asleep. The jeep takes her to a distant and not so crowded, a lonely road. And then suddenly she feels a push, a fatal push. Her head falls on a stone, and we know that she is going to die. But the author writes that I am going to read the last few lines to you. A spurt of blood painted the dusty copper colored boulder a bright crimson. In that wavering moment between life and death, whom did Bindubashini see? Her husband? Her son? Or Bulu? Who was it that came and stood silent by her at that final moment? And where were others? Her dear Boma Uttura, her darling, the apple of her eyes, her dear granddaughter Milu, Mrinalini. Where were they? Where was she going, leaving them all behind in a strange country? The day advanced. The midday sun sent its scorching rays from the sky overhead. Bindubashini's tall, shapely body lay still on the bed of earth, resting her head on that stone pillow. Hours later, from a distant village, a stray dog came and sniffed at her, and much later, when the sun had almost set in the western sky, a row of ants came out, attracted by the smell of blood, millions of them. Within minutes, they entered the nostrils, eyes, and mouth. Slowly, they spread like a shroud all over Bindubashini's body. So nature takes its course. When Bindubashini realizes that my family is in danger, she is at that moment she is going to die. At that last moment she realizes, but she has nothing to do. She can do nothing. And who comes to her head? The author wonders. Is it her husband, her son? Those who were, dead long ago, who had died long ago, or those who are living in agony now, Milu, Bulu, and Uttura. Was she thinking about meeting or going to her husband after death, or supposedly thinking about her husband and son and thinking that if they were here, we would not be in this situation, thinking of them? Or was she thinking of the women of the family whom she is losing now, leaving in this world helpless? But she can do nothing. She has to die. And she dies. And nature takes its own course. The stray dog, the ants, they don't leave a dead body. To them, it is just a dead body. And to us, to humans, women are exploited by the men of other community, the men of their own community. Who can you trust? In such a situation, who can you trust? This woman trusted Jamir Mia in asking a suggestion. Jamir Mia gave a realistic suggestion. But this woman, in her journey, she had to lose everything in her possession to save her children. I am referring to them as her children. This is the mother. The mother could not protect her daughters. At the end, the mother puts her trust in a man looking at the saffron color. Now, the question is there, just because someone is wearing a particular color or showing you a particular signal that I am a father-like figure, I wear this uniform, and we humans judge on the basis of that, on the basis of appearance. If I ask you that, would you trust anyone if you are, on the way towards somewhere, you meet 100 strangers, would you trust anyone? You would say no. Why should I trust any stranger? That's correct. But we do trust sometimes. We see 100 people, among them, if I have to ask a direction, if I have to ask ask for some kind of help, we pick a person that there are 5 people around, I am going to this man. Why? There is something in the appearance that makes me think that he is the most trustworthy among the available 5 options. Now the point is not trusting a stranger. The point is I am trusting because of some kind of appearance. Maybe that is his true nature, but maybe he has learned to appear like that so that he can gain trust. We won't know that. If you are asking just a person to help you, and if you trust based on, some color, some appearance, some attitude, that color, that appearance, that attitude can be his real beliefs, can be his real character, or it can be a facade. Like Keshavananda, after he sold Uttara to Rajiv Lochon, there is a passage where Keshavananda's character is explained. Keshavananda is thinking that I was a bookworm, I was, studying and learning things, and what would have I got? I would have got nothing. I would have to go to door to find a job or something. Rajiv Lochon saved me. What is the value of being moral? Rajiv Lochon gave me this employment. Now everybody respects me because I look like a sadhu. Also, I have such an ashram. Nobody suspects me. Even police respects me. Nobody suspects me, and I can have a rich and happy life, a plump figure. That means he has food enough not to worry about. So he is not thinking about being moral anymore. He is thinking about his livelihoods. So what is at the center is the economic condition. When the people are to leave East Pakistan and go to India, or to leave India to Pakistan, they had to leave everything. That is a drastic change in their financial status, of course. Plus, they are looted in the journey. Plus, government and their officials and the relief fund and refugee camps, they are all over there. Corruption and mismanagement. Now, the person who is desperate, seeking for help, is being abducted and exploited by a sadhu. Here, sadhu means a person whom you trust, who has a certain, characteristics, certain features. He has been adorned with those features so that other people trust him easily. And if you cannot gain trust, you cannot sell. Even if you cannot gain trust, you cannot sell somebody something. So to make a sale, You have to gain a little bit of trust, right? So a salesman, even a salesman, is taught how to be a little bit of trustworthy with his speeches, right? So the sadhu here has got that appearance because it is the bait. Now the thing is, could Bindubashini have done something else? Although the author is not focusing on that, the author's focus is on the exploitation of women by everyone, the exploitation of people and mostly women by everyone. Because here the four characters are women, so exploitation of women is the central concern. Of course, everyone exploits them, almost everyone exploits them in various ways. Somebody tries to gain their property, somebody tries to snatch that little kid when sleeping, somebody tries to, and in fact successfully sells them, etc., and kills Bindubashini. So yes, there is that exploitation, but I would like to teach you something here that could, with our intelligence, let us think that could Bindubashini have done something else? Okay, Bindubashini has trusted a man as soon as she thought that this man was trustworthy. She called him to a side and told her individual story so that she and her family could get help from that man. She and her family individually could get help from that man. And that man abducted them, sold them, killed them, etc. Exploited them. Why? Because Bindubashini trusted. If Bindubashini, I am not talking about trusting or distrusting, I am talking about being skeptic. If Bindubashini hadn't trusted one man so much and hadn't wished that my family should be out of this dire situation, instead of thinking of all the people together, that wherever we are, in a bad situation or good situation, if we remain together, we will be strong. United we stand, divided we fall. If Bindubashini had that kind of, thinking, then perhaps this man would not have the opportunity to exploit her. Yes, I am not saying that Bindubashini would have been saved of all potential dangers. I am not saying that. But I can give you an example. If you look at how turtles are born. Turtles are born on the sand, on the seashore, about 50 feet away from the sea. So they are on land. But turtles move slowly, very slowly. And when they are born, the season of their, when they are born, in that season, there are predatory birds looking for those turtles whenever they are going to come, because they, after getting born, they are always breaking away from eggs and they always go towards the sea. So the predatory birds wait there, and as the turtles come with their slow pace, the predatory birds break their shells and eat them. So the turtles, by natural instinct in their genes, they have a tendency that they won't move alone. They always, after, they move all together. After they are born, after they are, they have broken the eggshells and come out in the sand, they just wait. At one certain moment, they all move together. Why? Simple mathematics. They don't learn maths like us. But nature and instincts have taught them one thing, that if we move all together, there are some of us going to be eaten. Some of us going to be destroyed. that is going to be 10%, 20%, but 80% will live, 90% will live, will reach that sea. Once we reach that sea, we are free, relatively. Okay, turtles know that. That's why they move together just after getting born. If they move one after another, everyone will get killed. I am not saying that if the family lived in that group of people, they would have been saved from all potential dangers. But I am just saying that by trusting someone, human beings are terrible beings, and by trusting someone on the basis of that uniform, that because this uniform I can trust it, that is the foolishness. And because of that, she is so easily exploited, her family is so easily devastated, and we get to see that the story ends with Bindubashini's murder. We don't see anything anymore, but we have the understanding that they are going to, the other people, the other three beings, they are going to live their lives in hell. So the mother cannot protect her children because her sons are so exploiting. He is looking at Jamir Mia, calling her as a son. He is looking at the Sadhu, trusting him almost as a fatherly figure. So they do not, these people, Jamir Mia could not give any word to protect, give any assurance to protect her family, and the Sadhu exploiting her so easily. So that is the story of Protiva Basu's, the story by Protiva Basu, The Marooned. Exploitation of women, the journey, the migration after partition, the property, losing the property, being emotional about those huge beds, those utensils, those silver made things. They were so nostalgic about those things. Of course, they lived with those things. So of course they had to be they had pain in their minds, but still the mindset that I cannot work as a maid or my daughter-in-law cannot work as a maid, we were, that kind of pride, and yet so easily trusting someone and so easily get destroyed. All these human follies, human weaknesses, and human brutalities are put together in this story. I hope that I have been able to make you understand a bit about this story. If you like the video, hit like button, share and subscribe. Thank you.